Orale! What's up, homies? In this episode, we talk about the Kyle Rittenhouse verdict, we talk about the Ahmad Arbery trial, and we discuss the coming civil war as a result of these two trials. You don't want to miss this one. Alright, we're in business.
Push the fucking button. Let's do
Button
this.
has been pushed.
Alright.
Orale! What's up, homies? It's the Chino and Homeboy podcast. I am your host, America's Homeboy. And with me is my co-host, Chino
Konnichiwa, bitches.
and Hate Jones.
I'm heated up today.
All right. Let me get some shit out the way first. Because apparently motherfuckers listen longer whenever I tell them, like, hey, we're at 72 subscribers. If we hit 100, we're going to give everybody a 20% discount. So push us like crack, homies. Talk to your peoples about us.
Yep, what he said.
Anything
Word
else?
up.
Oh,
them quality teas.
That's right.
Mhm.
If you buy our shit on our merch store, for every purchase that you make, $1 goes to Hope for Warriors, nonprofit organization which helps out veterans and active duty service members with their bills and getting a leg up or getting getting their life back together, shit like that. Go look them up, Google that shit, cause Hey Jones is heated and we need to get started. All right, and go.
Ain't it nice to be white?
I mean, I wouldn't know.
I wouldn't know either. I ain't white.
You be passing though.
I mean, I could pass for white. Like if I stopped talking, like I was from near Compton and southeast Los Angeles. Yeah, I could probably pass for white. I could pass for Italian, so kind of white, sort of white.
Shit. People think I'm fucking Middle Eastern all the time.
Oh yeah,
but you got the mini Momoa going for you.
I mean, that's true. I mean, it probably doesn't help that I wear my keffiyeh all everywhere, my shemach, my scarf. You know what I mean?
Nah.
Yeah.
Bust this, man.
Looking like Chino Arafat and shit.
And that's funny.
That's a good one.
It is a good one.
Nah, but one of my homies who's like Guatemalan, right? We used to go to this Indian restaurant. So it's me, him, and a dark-skinned Indian guy. So we used to go to this Indian buffet, and the owner, who's a woman, came over to our tables, taking our orders and everything, start talking to the Indian guy, because they were both Southern Indian or whatever. And so she just breaks out and talks to the Guatemalan dudes like, hey, you're not Iranian, are you? And he's like, nah, I'm Guatemalan. She's like, good, we don't like them.
Shit.
Yeah. So you know what I'm saying? Your ability to pass and be racially ambiguous gives you, a lot of range. And
right.
People can hate you for,
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I think I'm racially ambiguous enough to pass for Mexican as well.
Yeah,
that's true.
But
if you tell me you was Mexican, I would believe you.
Chino, yeah. That's why we call him Chino, because he's Mexican. He is Mexican though. He's Mexican from the Philippines.
I thought you call him Chino because he was Asian and dirty. I thought that was the
thing. No,
that's exactly it.
He was raised in Texas.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a myriad of reasons. Actually, Chino comes from back in 2000. Was it 2006? It was our last. It was my last deployment, right? Mm-hmm. But it was when Chino Homeboy was born, because him and his homie. I mean, what kind of nickname can we give him? What was his nickname on
the
the ship?
Eskimo. Well, he was also racially ambiguous enough that
Yeah,
people would ask me like, "Hey, is your homeboy white, Mexican, or what?"
yeah,
You know, and that's where it started from. Is like that's where the homeboy name came from.
yeah.
So, like, what's your homeboy? Like, is your homeboy white? Is your homeboy Mexican?
Yeah.
So
And then they
just
got and then they got into a discussion about the most racist things that they could call it, racist nicknames they could give each other, and they gave Chino Chino.
pretty much, pretty much,
And
you
that's
know.
how
So, but I
and
think
then he told me the story and I just ran with it.
It's
Just fucking
funny.
ran with that shit.
In Belize, there's Chinamen there. This is the terminology that my girl Mothers uses, and like came here and she saw people wearing flip flops and called them like Chinaman shoes or some shit like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn, son.
Yeah,
we're all a little bit racist.
Just a little bit.
yeah. So
Just a tiny bit.
they I think they do use Chino or something like Chino or something like that, but not Chink. Definitely Chino.
Right.
Right.
Because they have some Latin in Belize there's kind of like half Honduran, half black, half something else kind of deal going on there.
Yeah.
Right. So obviously we all know about the controversy, right? That
Yes.
Right.
that occurred this week. And I wanted to start off by reading I guess it's a Facebook post, but it's more like a legal brief.
Okay.
Right.
From a military legal worker. All right.
Yep.
This is what he said. I'm seeing a lot of ignorance and misinformation flying around about what happened in Kenosha, and I'm going to set the record straight from a professional legal position, as well as from a former military position. I'm going to explain some things from a more technical angle derived from my many years as a paralegal and from my experience working in federal criminal justice and prosecution. Operative word there being federal, right?
Mhm.
Right.
Legally, if you are in the process of a commission of a crime, it negates your ability to claim self-defense if you kill someone, as in, it can't even be entered as your official defense in court. It is similar to getting rear-ended at a red light through zero fault of your own, but you were driving without a license or insurance. It automatically makes you at fault because you weren't even legally allowed to be driving.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That 17-year-old in Kenosha had committed 2 crimes and was not even legally allowed to open carry the rifle he used to shoot 3 people. This means that he legally cannot claim self-defense. Another key discussion is the Castle Doctrine. Some of you may be vaguely familiar with it, as it is what allows you to use deadly force when someone comes into your house unlawfully, etc. But there are some finer points most people don't realize that you generally have to do some formal legal studies to know. First, as soon as someone sets foot inside the threshold of your home uninvited, that you believe intends to commit a crime, you can legally use deadly force, and it is immediately considered self-defense, even if they haven't made any violent threats or actions towards harming you. This is because in every instance outside your home, you are required to retreat and extricate yourself from a dangerous situation if possible. It is a legal mandate, not a suggestion. Your home is considered the final retreat point, and legally, you should be safe in your quote unquote castle. There is nowhere else to retreat to. This is why you are able to immediately use deadly force. However, it is not to protect your property. It is for protecting your life. And once the burglar, for instance, has left your home, the threat to your life is considered neutralized and deadly force is no longer authorized. Oh, shit, fuck. Hold on. I accidentally clicked the fucking thing. I'm reading this off of Facebook, people. I'm sorry. I apologize. Let's see. So, if a burglar runs out the door and down the street with your TV, you're no longer allowed to shoot after them because they are not threatening your life. You call the police, you file a claim with your insurance, and you get a new TV. If you shoot a burglar in the back down the street, you can and should be charged with murder. While you are out in public, this means a lot of things, obviously. It means that there is far more scrutiny and boxes that must be checked in order to claim self-defense. You must be in imminent danger of losing life and limb. Getting into an argument and feeling scared of being punched by an unarmed person, not likely to be a situation where deadly force is authorized. You must retreat. If someone shoots at you or pulls a knife on you in the street, that is deadly force and can be met with deadly force. But if the person is unarmed, you cannot shoot them because you're afraid of a little scuffle. That is why Rittenhouse illegally shot the first protester. And it is one of the many reasons it cannot be considered self-defense. The man threw a plastic bag with trash in it at him and missed, and Rittenhouse shot him. He chased his victim and instigated a fight by brandishing and flagging people with his rifle because he is an untrained idiot with a gun. The protester was not a threat, and even if he was, all he had to do was retreat back to the police line. He rushed at protesters with the gun drawn to pick a fight, and people are acting as if he were just there to keep the peace. He fired into a crowd, and it's a miracle he didn't hit more people that hadn't thrown a plastic bag, more people that were just trying to protest police brutality, which is a real issue in this country. And then, when he did finally run away, some more protesters attempted to subdue him after he had already murdered somebody. He tripped and shot 2 people trying to stop him from shooting others. The fact that the police didn't arrest him and take him into custody right then and there, even if they suspected it could be self-defense, is a grave issue with that police department. I could further dissect the situation, but for now I'm going to end with people passing around misinformation about the victims being criminals. Being, quote, criminals so they deserved it, unquote. First, there are no actual records of Jacob Blake or the people shot by Rittenhouse being in the official sex offenders registry. None of them raped a 14-year-old girl years ago. That is a complete fabrication being purposely spread by right-wing extremist sites in order to try and justify the shootings. Jacob Blake was indeed awaiting trial for sexual assault and trespassing and did have a warrant for his arrest. It was not assault on a child because that is a different charge with a different title. On the charging document, it would literally say that it was against a child. From what is publicly known, he allegedly broke into an ex-girlfriend's house and allegedly assaulted her, but he is innocent until proven guilty and still deserves his day in court. He could truly be innocent. Rittenhouse's victims do not appear to have had any record, and even if they did, he couldn't have known that at the time. You cannot insist a shoot was justified after the fact because, quote, that person was a criminal, unquote. Criminals have rights too, whether you like it or not, and it is enshrined in the very documents that built our country. If you don't like the Constitution and Bill of Rights, I don't know what to tell you. This is also not my opinion. This is literally how the criminal justice system and our laws work. I hold a degree in paralegal studies and served 8 years as an Army paralegal. I've worked for the criminal division in the Chicago U.S. Attorney's Office and currently work in federal law enforcement. This is what I do for a living, and I am not pulling this out of my ass. and my knowledge is a culmination of work in the field, being passionate about justice for 16 years. I'd be happy to send you sources and opines and case law and statutes if you need it. I did not get this from, quote, mainstream media, unquote, and I am not brainwashed by the left. I am independent progressive. And then he says, may he face justice for what he did, and we find a way to get on common ground before more fuses to this powder keg are lit. Which, this was posted on September 2nd, 2020. So clearly that did not fucking happen.
Mhm.
Discuss.
I didn't know all the legal jargon and case law for it, but I agreed with them. And the reason why the kid got off is because the judge threw out the gun charge.
Yeah. I mean,
like the moment I heard the judge throw out the gun charge, I'm like, oh, they setting him up to walk. Like it's game over. Because if he wasn't committing a crime by carrying a gun into a state that he underage guy carrying a gun across state lines during a curfew to protect property that is not his and roaming through the street with that gun and shooting somebody, then they're setting it up legally for him to be able to walk. So they did like the judge was fucking taking selfies with the nigga. Like, come on.
Yeah. Was he really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the kid is standing over the shoulder of the fucking judge. Like it's like he came down and sat at the fucking defense table, and there's pictures of them, together. So I'm like, what the fuck is up with that shit? That's not being impartial.
No, that's a fix.
And then I don't know if the prosecutor was playing dumb or if he was just inept, but I didn't feel him at all. Like, niggas start bringing in video game shit, and I'm like, is that because the gun charge got thrown out, or so you're grasping at straws or whatever the fuck? But it was totally like, let's protect this kid. fuck these protesters, because like was there rioting that night, or were they just protesting?
They were just, I think, well, I don't know, man. It happened last year. It's not fresh in my mind anymore.
I mean, because from my memory, I didn't remember any. I mean, I know some businesses were boarded up that night or whatever, but I don't remember any buildings being set on fire or anybody looting anything or any of that shit. So like this whole thing of trying to call them protesters and calling protesters rioters didn't really.
Well, they were calling them domestic terrorists at some point.
Yeah.
I mean, the right-wing mainstream media is definitely calling them domestic terrorists.
No, but I'm saying in the court itself.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I
don't know.
Yeah, because I think they were, some people, they were trying to imply that there was rioting, so like everything he did was like justified.
Yeah. No, it's not. I mean, he was already committing. That's the gun charge part, right? That's why he was able to submit self-defense as a defense, because once you get rid of the gun charge, boom, now he's allowed to admit self-defense.
Mm-hmm.
So
and the thing is like he should have retreated. Like, okay, like I remember watching the video of this whole shit popping off where they were all at a gas station because some other guys with guns were there and something popped off that day. So you had these guys with guns and you had the protesting crowd. And they were trying to say, hey man, we don't really like the cops. So all these gun-toting guys are really like, trying to play the middle. So they're like, we're just protecting property, but we don't fuck with cops like that, So it was weird because they're on tape saying this shit, right?
Yeah.
And then the first dude who got killed, he did single out the kid. You know what I'm saying? He did single him out and like, hey, yeah, fuck you, and followed him, right? But at the end of the day, it seemed like he was only trying to disarm him or fight him. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have any weapons on him, so there was no reason for you to escalate from, fisticuffs. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I think if he was just yelling for help, the other protesters would have helped him. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody there was being violent outside of the guy. I think one of the gun guys there shot at somebody or shot somebody when they were at the gas station. So I'm like, you brought a gun to a fist fight and a machine gun to a fist fight and shot a guy. And then the witness was like, oh shit, he just killed this dude. So
Let's
now
get it right. It's not a machine gun. It's an assault rifle. Before the two heirs you know, crawl into the fucking comment section and start going, it's not a machine gun. It's a rifle. Like, look, it's an assault rifle. All right. I mean, I fired it. I was in the Navy. You know, Chino was in the Navy. We know an assault rifle when we see one. Just because it doesn't have full auto doesn't mean it's not an assault rifle.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, he brought an assault rifle to a fucking fist fight.
Yeah. And the witness, the other guy who saw it was like, oh shit, he just shot a dude. So then the whole crowd there was like, what? And they're now trying to chase him down and disarm him. But at that point in my mind, it's like, you should have dropped your gun and ran.
Who started the fight?
The fight was started by the crazy white dude because he started chasing Rittenhouse, saying that he was gonna beat his ass and shit like that. Turns out the dude was a mental patient who had just gotten out or whatever. You know, so he had nothing to do with the protest for real. He was just on a mental hinge and just got out of lockup or whatever. Fuck.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? But that was a fist fight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That wasn't let me kill you. Like he didn't pull a knife. He didn't pull out a knife. He didn't pull out any other deadly weapons. So like, you know, killing somebody because you can't scrap is not, in my mind, justifiable for anything. You know, it's the same shit. The same shit as fucking Zimmerman. Zimmerman chased down a dude, like made the kid afraid, right?
Yeah.
By following him in a car and then on foot and then into a property. And the kid turned around like, why the fuck are you following me? And defends himself because like, I don't know who you are, and you're running up on me, and you're not, you know, telling me who you are. You know, you don't have a badge, so you're not like an authority, so you shouldn't be trying to stop me for shit.
Yeah.
You know, he defends himself. When he starts getting the best of Zimmerman shoots and kills him.
Yeah. Bringing it into a fist fight.
Yeah.
Even though he instigated the fight.
Yeah, and that's the part he takes away. And then, you know, for me, even if they threw out the gun charge, for me, it was just like, you're not supposed to be here. You're breaking curfew. You know, like his motivations were, oh, I'm here to protect property.
Well, let's not even forget the fact that the cops that night actually told all of the people there who had their assault rifles with them, who were armed, told them, we're glad you guys are here to back us up.
Yeah. No, they were even saying like, we're going to push them toward this way. And, you know, basically like, we're going to try to instigate some shit by pushing them down your way and boxing them in. And then if they do something stupid, then you're all justifiable and killing them.
Yeah.
You know, which was some other punk ass shit. And you know what I'm saying, but well, the thing was for me is like, okay, you came to protect this piece of property. Why are you not at that piece of property? Like, why are you running through the streets? If you want to come down here and render aid to people, you didn't need a fucking gun to render aid, because nobody's gonna shoot you or fuck with you if you're walking around with a fucking first aid kit saying, hey, who needs bandages?
Yeah.
Nobody would fuck with you except for the fucking cops.
Yeah. If you're there to protect property, if you're there to protect property, be on the property. Do not leave the property. Just like all the Korean store owners during the LA riots. They didn't leave their fucking stores to go shoot people. They waited for the motherfuckers to come to their stores before they buck them down. And you know what? No one ever did. Well, I think they did, but
they shot into the crowd. They definitely shot in the crowd. I don't know if they hit anybody.
Yeah.
I don't remember any charges being levied or anything like that.
But I mean, there were a lot of Korean store owners with a lot of fucking guns, and that was just like one fucking incident, you know?
Yeah.
Well, didn't Rittenhouse also fire into the crowd?
He
I mean, he
did.
didn't hit anybody, but
Yeah, when he was running away, I think he started bucking at the crowd. He's like, "Oh, they're chasing me," and just start shooting. And
Well,
then,
he hit two other people. He killed one of them and he injured the other.
well, one dude, I think he tripped and fell, and he was shooting into the crowd. One dude grabbed a skateboard and swung it at him, and he shot him. So it's gun versus skateboard, but it's like that dude was clearly like, "Oh, he's shooting into the crowd. Let me try to stop him."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
then the other guy who got injured, he had a gun on him. So once he saw him buck dude down, it's like, "Oh shit." I don't know why he moved forward with the gun instead of just stopping where he was and bucking him down.
Yeah.
But he ran toward him and shot at and had a gun, and dude saw the gun and just turned and bucked him down, and then got up and ran. And everybody stopped pursuing him because they saw like, "Oh, he's killing people," and then they're trying to render aid to the people who got shot. And then he tried to run, he ran toward the cops like, "Hey, I just shot a guy," and the cops were like, "Yeah, whatever, bro."
I mean,
maybe that dude with a gun was attempting to disarm Rittenhouse.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I'm looking at it. I'm like, this is a white on white crime, right?
I guess white lives don't matter.
And I feel that this is why they didn't have a threat of juice in the system for it. Because like if he would have killed some black people, their city would be burning down right now if the dude was let out.
Yeah.
Right. But the white folks don't care that much.
Yep.
So like, oh, we can fix him because he killed white people. So you're not gonna get the black squad up in arms enough to like set shit on fire over here.
Yeah.
Now, I may be misreading this whole thing, but the fact that you have firearms by people who are not police, right? Like I understand the whole Second Amendment thing. You have the right to bear arms, fine, great, cool, whatever. I'm all for that. But the fact that there's firearms in a very volatile, extremely volatile situation, right? I mean, doesn't that kind of? I mean, something's gonna happen.
Okay. So let me do something in contrast, right? So during our protests that have been jumping off in the last few years, there was one in Dallas where a Black Lives Matter protest in Dallas where an ex-military black dude went off and bucked off a bunch of cops. I don't know if you guys remember that. Like he was straight Call of Duty with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
They also had, because Texas is a gun state, you had black guys showing up to Black Lives Matter protests with their guns, doing open carry because open carry was on the books. The cops stopped them motherfuckers, took their ID, took their guns, and told them to pick them up the next day.
The black people only.
To the black people there that had guns. There was no white guys with guns there.
Right.
So it was just black people flexing their 2A the same way these fuckers were flexing their 2A, and they got their guns confiscated, got ID'd, and then they had to come and pick them up the next day.
Wow.
Gotcha. So here's a contrast in treatment. You know what I'm saying? And the guy who was shooting cops got murdered. He got killed at the end of the day, so he didn't even face trial.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I simply said that just to kind of, I guess, illustrate that it was an extremely excuse me, volatile situation that I mean, you kind of expect it to fulminate. Like it's gonna blow up. And it's just
all in your face.
Like, yeah. It's like watching a really bad movie playing out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this shit is scripted.
Yeah.
Like I can predict what's gonna happen.
I mean, it's actually kind of a miracle that more of these types of shootings didn't happen during all those protests. You know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of a miracle that that shit didn't happen. However, after this trial, I expect more of these types of shootings to occur.
Well, and then okay, so then
The president is set.
Yep, precedent has been set.
Here's some more contrast, right? This dude named was it Grandmaster Jay, who had started this gun club or gun group called In Fact, who I think they did a march with guns on the Klan's headquarters in Georgia, right? So they took about 1,000 black dudes walking down the street with the ARs out to the front doors of the Klan, like, hey, if you want it, you got it. They didn't want it. Somehow, and he also showed up to wherever Breonna Taylor was killed and did a protest there. And somehow he is now up on federal charges because supposedly somebody pointed a gun at a federal officer. So
just for pointing a gun at, just for flagging a federal officer.
Yeah, and it could have just been something where somebody was just moving their gun around. I don't know the details of it as much, but like literally nobody was hurt, and they're trying to give this dude up to 20 years.
Right.
Shit.
Even though these motherfuckers with guns probably flagging police, like local law enforcement left and right.
Yeah, ain't even saying that he's the one who pointed it. You know what I'm saying? They're like, oh, you're organizing these dudes in a militia form. We need to get you out of here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
What the fuck?
But white militias, they don't do shit to break up or disrupt the motherfuckers at all.
Right.
Like we dismantled the Black Panthers, but we ain't did shit to the Klan.
Yep. Well, those militias are just illegal, period, anyway. You're not allowed by federal law to form a militia in any way, shape, or form.
But the Constitution says
it's illegal. It's illegal. We have a standing army for that now. That's why we have an all-volunteer military. After the all-volunteer military was established, it made forming militias illegal. And even if there is a militia, they're under the orders of the president. They have to obey the president's orders.
You're just full of facts today.
Aren't I always? I am a Republican.
I mean, you're usually full of information.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Not all that information is facts.
I mean, I do tend to pull shit out of my ass sometimes, but I am sitting on a toilet, so you know.
I feel you.
It's on brand.
It's on brand.
Yeah. I mean, you shitting in the toilet, you pulling something out of your ass. It's gonna be shit.
It's gonna be shit. That's right. Yeah. Exactly.
Most likely.
But I'm pretty sure that what I've stated is grounded in reality.
Right on.
Definitely. But shit is crazy, man. It's just like hopefully these motherfuckers do some wrongful death suits.
Oh, they are. The civil suits are gonna be rolling through, and this motherfucker is gonna be owing money till he dies.
And I'm like wondering why there's no federal gun charges for gun smuggling since he crossed the border with a legal weapon.
Yeah, well, I thought I had read somewhere that they were going to open up a federal investigation into the trial and see if there was any form of misconduct on the part of the judge, but I can't find the headline, so I'm going to assume it's not happening.
Yeah, because that judge was acting hella fucking biased.
Yeah.
I'm like, how do you get to drop the charges when I thought the DA is the one who posts the charges? Like, how do you say, nah, we're gonna let that pass? We're not gonna calculate
that judge is gonna get canceled.
Yeah.
I hope so. I mean, there's a good chance he won't. I mean, who knows, man? But all of this shit, right? Rittenhouse going over there to do, with a weapon to, protect. Oh, wait, wrong one. Protect property, right? Is a fine example of what's called stochastic terrorism.
Can you explain that to the kids?
I mean, I don't have the definition in the top of my head. Let me look it up right quick. Jamie, can you look that up? Stochastic terrorism.
Yeah. I mean, I know what it means, but the kids don't. So let's explain that to the kids who are listening.
Stochastic terrorism is the public demonization of a person or group resulting in the incitement of a violent act, which is statistically probable, but whose specifics cannot be predicted. As an example, the lone wolf attack was apparently influenced by the rhetoric of stochastic terrorism. Now, I'm not, gonna mince words here and say that Trump and the Republicans have been stoking, the rhetoric of stochastic terrorism by demonizing Black Lives Matter protesters as terrorists, domestic terrorists, and Antifa, right? Anti-fascist, which is ironic because if you're attacking the anti-fascists, doesn't that make you fascist?
Right.
Technically it should, but so one of my friends sent me a video. What's up?
Acquaintances?
Yeah, an acquaintance sent me a video on Rittenhouse stating why he wouldn't be convicted. But I haven't watched it yet. But I think it's from one of these soft conservatives.
Right.
But this guy basically supposed is a lawyer and a YouTuber who explained why the kid wasn't going to go to jail.
Is it Chile de Castro?
No. No, definitely not. But I haven't. I've been so stuck into my my week. It's just been off. My weekend has been off, so I haven't had a chance to watch it because I didn't have the energy to debate him on it.
Right.
Yeah, but I will watch it today and kind of see what it says. But
what do you guys think? Based off of social media feeds and news and your respective circles, what do you think is the general mood or feeling about this Rittenhouse thing?
People who are on the Republican side or the conservative side believe that the justice was served, or they're happy about the verdict at the minimum, and people on the flip side are like, this is some fuck shit.
Right. Because I don't have a lot of Facebook friends. I don't have a lot of social media friends, and that's by choice. And in my social media feeds, I'm seeing a bit of both.
Yeah.
And there's going to be people are going to choose sides. People have chosen sides a long time ago.
Well, all my conservative friends come from Facebook, and I haven't been on Facebook heavy in weeks. Most of my liberal friends, well, everybody else on Instagram that I follow, mostly my liberal friends, and everybody's like, see, told you, bullshit,
Yeah. What I've seen is my conservative friends are trying to walk the line, right? Because they can see the fuck shit, but they also don't want to, disagree.
Right.
Oh yeah. There are those ones that are like, yeah, this is wrong, but I can't go against the crowd.
Yeah.
Can't go that far.
Yeah.
That would be
I can't be
dangerous.
seen as a lib,
Yeah.
Right.
you know. So I see them walking. I see my conservative friends walking, trying to toe the middle line, you know, trying to act like moderate Republicans instead of, you know, the fucking right wingers that they can be. So I mean, I guess that's hope.
Right. I've
You
seen
know?
one person specifically be he was completely entertained by this whole trial thing, and he was extremely happy with what happened with the verdicts
Yeah.
of not guilty. And one thing that I took note of in particular was that now I guess he was watching the trial.
Can I cut in real quick before I
Go ahead.
get this stuff?
Go ahead.
So in Florida, there was a shooting. An old white man was harassing a woman who had her child with her about them being parked in a handicapped space. People yelled into the store like, "Hey, bruh, this dude is getting at your wife." The brother man comes out of the place, sees the guy, walks over to the car, and he shoves him down to the ground, and then he stands there. The dude pulls out a gun, shoots, and kills him. He wanted to claim stand your ground. The dude lost and is in prison because the other dude pushed him. He didn't have a weapon. He never advanced on him. You know what I'm saying? So that dude went to jail. And I'm like, this looks exactly like the Rittenhouse case, right?
Yeah.
He gets into a physical altercation. Like you said, the dude threw a bag of shit at him, right?
Yeah.
And dude shot him. So I was like, this should have the same effect. Like the shooter should have been sent to jail because of that.
Here's what I think should happen in the United States. I think that the United States should federally
vote for Homeboy for president.
Well, yeah, like if Homeboy was president, this is what I would do. I would institute the military rules of engagement that military service members have to abide by when they're in a foreign country. So if you're a civilian at a protest with an AR-15, you are not allowed to fire your weapon. Fire your weapon unless you are in absolute imminent danger of losing your life, or you have been given the order from your
legal authority.
From the legal authorities. Exactly.
Waste of motherfuckers.
Exactly. So that would mean that these motherfuckers with AR-15s would know what it feels like to be in a fucking combat zone, since they want to live out their Call of Duty fucking fantasies. Let me tell you, you could be standing guard at a gate with your fucking M16 or your M5 or your M4, right? Ready to fucking unload on motherfuckers throwing rocks, throwing fucking bags of feces and shit, you know, spitting on you and all of that shit. You cannot shoot them. You can't at all in any way, shape, or form. Not at all. You got to sit there and you got to fucking take it. So they should have the same. They should have the same fucking rules of engagement. That way we can actually throw bags of fucking feces and urine and rocks and shit like that at people with AR-15s, and they would get what they deserve.
They can't shoot, man.
Yeah, you can't shoot. I think they should institute the same rules of engagement across every state that every military service member has to abide by when they're in a foreign country during a time of war. That would solve all of these problems. Kyle Rittenhouse would be in fucking prison right now for disobeying a direct order. He'd probably be facing the death penalty because that's what they do to you in the military.
Yeah, instead they gave him a fucking AR-15 for defense of gun rights.
Yeah, well, you know,
and see, here's the bigger thing, right? People question why Black people won't vote Republican or conservative, because this is the type of shit you back up. You know, they're all on the Rittenhouse team. But the Impact dude who organized a bunch of black people to get gun licenses and protests and everything else, they don't get no support from the NRA or the conservative side, right? Even though they're all pro 2A, right?
Yeah.
They gets no fucking love, which shows their hypocrisy. So like, why would I ever vote for your team? Why? It makes no fucking sense.
Right. Well, that's America for you, right?
What's that other trial that Ahmad Arbery?
Yeah,
Arbory?
Ahmad Arbery.
Yeah.
Let that one go south, nigga. Let it go south. It's gonna be on. It's gonna be on and cracking.
Yep. Yeah. The Ahmad Arbery case is the one that all the black people are watching.
Yeah.
And if those two white dudes walk, there's not just going to be riots in the streets.
Now, they should burn that little hidden racist town down.
What's the name of the town?
I forgot, but I know it was like an enclave. Like there's literally one way in and one way out of this town, which is why he probably couldn't escape. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I watched some of the fucking trial footage or the cross-examination of the guy who shot him, right? And their prosecutor was fire, unlike the one in the Rittenhouse case.
Right.
Wait, hold on. This is those two white dudes, right?
The father and son.
Yes.
That chased down the black dude who was out jogging. He was just out for a fucking jog.
And they were protecting property that was not theirs. Right?
Yep.
So the prosecutor was like, he never said anything to you, right? Nope. He didn't threaten you, did he? Nope. Did he have a gun on him or any weapon? Did he wave any weapons to you? You know, flash anything towards you? It's like, no. So why'd you shoot him? Well, he
was black.
He went for my gun. So like you chasing him with another guy on the back with a gun waving, with you with a gun in a car. You've already ran him one direction and then he busted you and you chased him another direction. Then you call and you get another car in. So now you got two cars chasing this man and somehow you're the victim. And he's not, you hop out of your car, you pull in front of him and hop out your car with a shotgun and expect this dude not to try to defend himself or disarm you so you wouldn't kill him.
Right.
And somehow I was like, well, I had to kill him because he almost had my gun.
Almost being the operative
but if you
word.
didn't mean him no harm, why's your gun even out? Like,
hey, Jones.
Yeah.
I have a theory.
Go for it.
Black people have superpowers.
Yeah, we do.
I mean, that's got to be the case. I mean, otherwise, white people wouldn't be so afraid of black people. Black people gotta have some kind of superpower, man.
No, the superpower is we make white people very, very scared. That's the superpower.
Is it your pheromones? Is it the pheromones?
Yeah.
You got fear pheromones, right? You got fear pheromones. You guys like give off of some shit. I mean, that sounded racist. That's what gets me canceled right there. Saying black people got pheromones that make white people scared.
Oh man, it's the increased fast twitch fiber muscularity.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
I think it's just the big dicks. That's what scares the shit out of
me. I mean, there's that too.
Essentially, what it boils down to: that black man's got to be running from someone's wife to another white man's wife, giving the big dick. We need to stop him. We need to stop him now before he fills the world with his little hybrid babies.
Penis envy is an issue. It is an issue. It's
right.
It stays on the top of white men's minds. I will say that.
Well, I mean, shit, fucking, what is it? That cuckold porn on Pornhub was a fucking huge thing for like a long time until now, nigga. Like people still watching that shit. Well, they're not watching it nearly as much as the incest porn because now they've all discovered, like they've got apps now where you can like, you know, swing and shit, and they're all looking for, you know, BBC.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what about the sleeper Asians with, you know, with said BBC, or is it BAC?
Big Asian
You know what I
cock.
mean? Yeah.
The BAC.
I guess, you know, but I'm black from the waist down.
Right?
You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
Yeah.
I'm a sleeper agent, as it were.
Yep.
Well, you know, technically Filipinos are black, so there you go.
Yes, we do
Yes.
have our own. Yeah, we do have our own indigenous black population. Yes.
Yeah.
And they're cool as hell.
I got
Cool.
what is it? I'm
Why
what is it?
wouldn't they be?
I'm like
Right?
I'm
Exactly.
5% African, you know, the
There you go.
5% that matters. My heart. I'm talking about my heart, okay? I feel
That's
the
right.
blackness
Raise that
in
fist,
here,
son.
in here, right?
Right. Raise that fist. You
I
gotta
don't have
make
a fist. I don't have a fist animation. I
well,
didn't make one.
you need to. You need
I
to.
got
You need to
this
make
one
for
though.
me too.
I did think to put that one in.
Right.
Oh,
See, the only thing I have is this one.
And this one. Hold on.
And that's the only thing I need to do.
I also made this one.
You got to make me that one too. I need that one. I need that one. Anyway, yeah. It's
But yeah, if the Ahmad Arbery case goes south, there are going to be riots in the street. It's going to be as bad as when the what is it, the Reginald Denny? No, the Rodney Dangerfield. Rodney King. Yeah,
Rodney Dangerfield. What?
It's the first Rodney that came to mind.
Like, were people processing his jokes?
Sorry, I was drinking. I was about to spit out my coffee.
Are they mad at him for thinking that Eddie Murphy wasn't all that funny?
Oh man.
You guys saw that shit, right?
No.
Nah.
What
Eddie
happened?
Eddie Murphy on Jimmy Fallon. So they had he was a guest via Zoom, I guess it was, and you know, Jimmy Fallon was asking him about his career and stuff that's happened in his career, like his heroes and shit, you know, and he had his Rodney Dangerfield story, where I guess Rodney Dangerfield comes in and performs, right? And this was during Eddie Murphy's come up, and they had to bump him, you know, because of Rodney. And I think he opened for him or some shit.
Right.
In any case, you know, Rodney saw his set, and you know, he's like, you need to work on it some more. You're not that funny, whatever. He said something to that effect.
Right.
And then years later, you know, after he makes it, you know, he's in Vegas and he's taking a piss in the bathroom in one of the casinos, I guess. And Rodney Dangerfield goes into the bathroom, you know, and stands next to him and takes a piss. And then Rodney Dangerfield goes, "Huh, who knew?" You know, basically like, who knew that you were going to be this big, you know, kind of thing. So that's what Eddie Murphy said happened.
Yeah, well, at least Rodney was a big enough man to admit when he had it wrong or didn't.
Yeah,
you know, wasn't right. But you know, all comics do that shit to people. You know, like if they're not telling you that you're wrong or you need to change, then they really don't give a fuck about your career. Because if I see you falling and don't say shit, it's like, good, fall off so I can have the spot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I realized, like, I watched something about Eddie Murphy and I was like, oh shit, this motherfucker was like 19 when he got on Saturday Night Live and was doing all this shit. And so his whole career was like his early, you know, all the shit that he's known for was done in his early 20s and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, now everything makes so much more sense. You know, like the dude was like a savant to a degree. Same with Dave Chappelle. You know, he started at 16 in comedy clubs and shit like that. So I was like, wow, you know, like ultra talented. You know, I watched the movies we grew up on, and they did Coming to America and shit. And that was a weird thing. They have some stories in there, but from his mouth is like he directed half the movie because he got into a fight with the director and beat him up. And then what the director said, according to the documentary on Netflix, is that after they had their fight, they quit talking.
Right.
So he would shoot scenes when the director's not there. The director would shoot the other scenes when he's not there, or some shit like that. Or if they were on the same set, he would have to talk through other people to tell Eddie what to do. Like you tell the personal assistant to go tell, hey, Eddie, could you do this scene over again?
And this is the movies that made us on Netflix.
Yeah. But the thing is, before this, I heard this story on some podcast where somebody was spilling the beans about this actually happening.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So I was like, wow, okay, this shit was, well, I heard Eddie Murphy's side of it, and then this one shows everybody else's side of it.
Right.
I'm going to post this Jimmy Fallon clip on podcast debrief.
All right,
but continue.
Yeah, but I think this tension is what made Coming to America so good.
Yeah.
You know, it's like these movies that overcome bullshit.
Yeah.
That make them so great.
Yeah. So the video that I saw, the reason I clicked on it is because Jimmy Fallon was asked Eddie Murphy about that Prince basketball match. You know, and he pretty much just corroborated everything that Charlie Murphy said.
The shit was real.
You know? Yep. And so then he was asking him about, you know, like Richard Pryor and all these other people, and just when Rodney Dangerfield came up, and you know, he relayed that story about Rodney Dangerfield telling Eddie Murphy, like, I guess, you know, you need to work on your shit. I don't think you're gonna make it. To, well, who knew you're gonna make it big? I guess I was wrong.
So,
right.
You know, that was kind of cool. So, but yeah, I posted it on the podcast debrief, so you guys can check it out, and the listeners can check it out and know what the hell I'm talking about.
All right.
Right.
Well, are we're done with Shittenhouse?
Yeah, we're done with Shittenhouse. We beat that dead horse.
Right,
The next thing is we'll probably be discussing is the Ahmad Arbery riots.
Yeah. Sad but true. But honestly, like the prosecution is putting on a lovely display.
Yeah.
Because she's making them basically say to themselves, like, there was no justification for you doing anything. You know, right? Like you started this affair, you chased them. You got the homeowners saying like nothing was stolen. Got videotape of multiple people visiting the property and them not being chased down by them. You know, but the black guy who walks onto that property and looks around like, we need to chase him down.
Right.
Yeah.
So like it's getting clearer and clearer what the motivations were. Like these motherfuckers even tried to fight to like not show the fact that I have like a Confederate flag license plate, because that would be presidential. I'm like, no, that would be the truth, nigga. You're a racist.
Yeah, I saw something like that where it said, you know, those two people on trial are saying what, you know, something about it if they want that piece of evidence, or they want that imagery taken out because it would be prejudicial to, you know,
no, it's
against
the car.
it's
it's on the car that you use to run down a man.
Yeah, they wanted to take that, you know, take that out of evidence because it would be prejudicial against their case. Well,
no,
my thing is
that is the evidence. I can't
like
disallow the gun you shot. Like we can't like say they had a custom gun with a fucking Confederate flag or a Nazi swastika on it, right?
Right.
It was like, look, we can't show the fact that this man killed this Jewish person with a gun with a swastika on it because that would be presidential. Like, no.
Right.
Like that's
right,
evidence.
exactly.
This is how we found the shit. So
well, not only that, it's also like, hold on, what happened to what was it? Heritage, not hate.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, hold on.
Yeah.
You know, so
yeah, because like if that's your belief, you should be like, yeah, no, it's not about that.
Exactly. Like, what the hell?
It's about my Southern heritage of hate.
Exactly. Well, and here's, you know, and here's what I wanted to talk about earlier. this whole thing about the prosecution, right? Like you say, this Arbory case, the prosecution is, putting, they're doing a good job, right?
Mhm.
And I was talking about one person in particular who was, that I know, who was watching the Rittenhouse case and was extremely happy about, the verdict not guilty. And one thing in particular that he mentioned was how he loved how this teenager was essentially making the prosecutor look like a fool, with the way he was answering the questions. And it was like, that got me thinking, like, I wonder if it really is, some sort of, like pass.
He
what I
would, he
mean?
would, I could tell from the little bit of the trial of his testimony that I watched that he was prepped very, very well.
Right.
From the dry ass tears to his response to
Yes.
the questions that the prosecution was throwing at him. That, he prepped very well. You know what I'm saying? And the prosecution just once that gun charge got thrown out, the prosecution didn't have a leg to stand on.
Yeah.
Like, I had to rewatch the whole thing to see like if dude was inept from start to finish. Because part of me was like, if the prosecution was in on it, the charges wouldn't even be filed correctly, right? Like it would have been a soft shoe. They would take a fucking plea deal and call it a day. So that part, I'm kind of like, that's probably not the real deal. So
Right.
they probably were coming at him for real, or at least they were pressured to do it. And once they were pressured to do it, it's like, hey, I gotta go win it.
Right.
But everything else in here, from the judge and everything else, is like they set him up to lead to walk.
I don't
jury selection to the judge, all of it.
I was gonna ask the question, like, why were the gun charges dropped? But that's
because the judge said so.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we're gonna drop that.
And I guess the question I am asking is like, why?
Oh yeah, and I don't know what his justifications were.
Yeah,
it just,
I don't. Yeah, I don't understand. It's like, that's the especially if the whole case or hinges on that gun charge. Like you said, once that pin was taken out, I mean, it was just the whole thing unraveled, right?
Yeah.
So it just my question is why? Like, like, I need to understand the motivations of why these gun charges were dropped. I'm probably not going to get any answers, but it's one of those things where, like, what the fuck is going on? Like, this is nuts, like,
yeah,
I don't understand.
I mean, it's kind of like Rodney King. You saw the cops beat his ass, and then got a not guilty verdict. And it's like, how the fuck do you watch them beat this dude bloody when he's not fighting them, he's not swinging on them, he's not kicking them, he doesn't have a weapon, and they're just standing around, stop resisting, and clubbing them in the head. How do you even try to justify that shit, right?
Yeah,
but
I remember
they all fucking walked on that first trial, and the city burned because of it.
I'm chuckling because that reminds me of an In Living Color skit where David Allen Greer plays Rodney King, and he does the "Can we all just get along?" And it was funny. I just got reminded of that, so that's why I'm chuckling. Not because of what happened to Rodney King, but because of the skit.
Yeah, no. I totally understand. Damn it! I just had another instance of injustice, and it slipped my mind when you start talking. Because I was like, well, since we're on this unfair trial shit, let's throw another log on the fire.
Right.
But it just slipped my fucking mind, like what case I was trying to bring up.
What's going on with the whole Breonna Taylor thing?
Shit, it's over as far as I know, but that shit was filled with corruption. The guy, the cop who's on the blame for it, he's asking for his job back or trying to go to court to get his job back. Yeah, but nobody's going to jail. There was a little doc that assumed like there was this bigger corruption thing with kind of like gentrification and using the cops in these raids as a means to clear out a neighborhood for a larger development plan that was in the works. So who knows? But no knock warrants. Like my conservative friend or conservative leaning friend also sent me a video about why Breonna Taylor's shooting was justified, and I'm like, the shooting was justified because they got shot at. I understand that part. The problem was, should you have been at that house to begin with?
Right.
The thing is, why didn't you raid her house when you knew she was gone? Because what you really want is drug evidence, right? They want the ex-boyfriend's drug evidence. So why not wait until the motherfuckers wake up in the morning and you see them leave for work, and then you go raid the house when you know nobody else is in there, and so nobody will get shot and you'll find your evidence, and then when they come home at night or wherever, you can scoop them up, or you can go to her fucking job and arrest her or whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
But they want to kick in motherfuckers' doors. Like, I don't know how you justify kicking in somebody's door in the middle of the night and don't expect them to shoot at you. Like, I don't get it.
That's
like,
true.
it's the most dangerous thing you can fucking do, right? Especially when you think, oh, these are criminal drug dealers who tote guns and all this other shit. Like, why would you even do that shit?
Right.
Like, why not confiscate them? Not confiscate them, but like watch the property, wait until motherfuckers leave, and then scoop them up around the corner,
Right.
Opposed to kicking in the door in daylight. Or like, because in the middle of the night, I might not hear you. You know what I'm saying? Which is the case. They may have said, they may have announced themselves like, police department, and then kicked in the door or tried to, but shit, I might not have heard you.
Right.
It's the middle of the night. I'm asleep. I could be a deep sleeper. You know what I'm saying? I hear something, you only yell police once, and then I don't hear anything else, but I hear my door get kicked in, and I assume somebody's trying to rob me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it opens up too many variables to put even police officers' lives at risk for motherfuckers to be doing it just to try to get the jump on the criminals.
Right.
Or potential criminals, right? And then you have the fallibility of it, where they kicked in people's doors with no knock warrants and beaten up, harassed, and terrorized and traumatized people who were law-abiding citizens and children. So you kick in a door, and now you're pointing M16s in the grandma's face and in the 5-year-old's face and destroying their property and dragging them outside, where clearly at that point you should know, like, damn, we're at the wrong address.
Yeah. And then she threw her titties in my hands.
Yeah.
like the Dave Chappelle skit.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, no knock warrants are just to like do that shit in the daytime. And because at that point, motherfuckers are awake. If somebody's at home and it's the middle of the day, they should be awoke. But just entering somebody's property unwarranted or in that fashion, you know what I'm saying, is just ridiculous. And for me, unjustifiable. Like, hey, do it like the FBI, knock on the door, be like, this is the FBI, bring your ass out, or we coming in. And or at least make contact. You know what I'm saying? So it's weird, but it's total fuck shit.
Yeah, no kidding.
And so, like, in one case, I think they're both in Texas. White man gets a no-knock warrant, shoots a cop, he gets off because of the no-knock warrant policy. Black man, who has a criminal record, I do believe, but was not the criminal they were looking for, shot, didn't kill a couple of officers. He heard people creeping around his house. They tried to break in. He returned fire, ended up shooting a cop in the chest, but he had a vest on. They're trying to give him life.
Now, is that because of his I mean, it's got to be because of that criminal past, like, why does he have a gun kind of thing?
The gun was not owned by him. It was by his girlfriend. It was a legal gun.
Okay.
He was just using it. So like, you can't own a gun in certain cases if you're a felon, but it doesn't say you can't use one to defend yourself.
I mean, that's true.
And so they tried to break into a window and he shot back, and he's on, he's on trial for life. While the white guy, and the thing is like usually you can't compare these cases because they're from different states or different cities or some shit. Like this is in the same fucking state with the same laws across the board. So why are we getting a different result other than the fact that one guy is white and the other guy's black?
Well, I hate
because the other guy's white and the other guy's black.
I hate to rain on your parade with diarrhea, but November 19th, 2021, Vero Beach, Florida.
Had to be fucking Florida, didn't it?
Right? Yeah. A Gifford man who claimed he was defending himself and his girlfriend when he fired shots at deputies during an early morning raid in 2017 was acquitted Friday of charges that carried a life prison term. A jury found Andrew.
Progress of a kind.
A jury found Andrew A.J. Coffey IV, 27, not guilty of second-degree felony murder, 3 counts of attempted first-degree murder of a law enforcement officer by discharging a firearm, and 1 count of shooting or throwing a deadly missile. Oh, sorry. I forgot to read the headline. I forgot to read the headline. I'm sorry. Jury acquits Gifford man who claims self-defense after girlfriend killed by sheriff's SWAT team in 2017. So this motherfucker had one of those, I guess he's had a no-knock raid, right? Oh, hold on. Yeah. Let me finish reading the article so we can find out more, because this is my first time reading this shit, right? At his sentencing, January 13th, he faces a maximum prison term of 30 years. The state will be seeking that maximum 30 years upon him, right? The charge is related to a March 19, 2017 firefight between a sheriff's office special weapons and tactical team and Coffey at his home in the 4500 block of 35th Avenue, Gifford. His girlfriend, Alteria Woods, 21, died during the raid after being struck by 10 bullets fired by a SWAT team member, including 1 shot that entered her chest, records show. The second-degree murder count, defined as an intentional killing that was not premeditated, was in connection to Woods' death. Jurors seated last week for a trial that began Monday deliberated for about 11 hours before returning a verdict. The jury began deliberating Thursday afternoon following closing arguments and worked until around 10 p.m. before being told to return Friday. After court Friday, Coffey's attorney, blah, blah, said his client was relieved, blah. I think they weighed the evidence and applied the law and took into account the defenses that we were provided, and we argued successfully clearly that there was some overreaction and overreach by the sheriff's department on that raid. They should have pulled back. They didn't. And this is what happens when you go into a volatile situation without all the information. This man was black.
Yeah. This is not the case I'm talking about, though.
Oh, I know. Let's see.
But very, very fucking similar.
Very similar. Yeah.
Yeah. So Coffey on Wednesday testified on his own behalf, as he did in March, during a stand your ground hearing seeking immunity from prosecution. Then he told Circuit Judge Dan Vaughn he and Woods had been asleep when deputies at the back of the house broke out the window to his bedroom using a pole that then detonated a flashbang device. Moments earlier, SWAT members at the front of the house had quickly taken his father into custody after a brief struggle just outside the home's front door. During his March hearing, Coffey said he thought he was being robbed when he saw what appeared to be a rifle sticking through the open window pointed at him. He insisted he didn't know the raid was underway when he fired a .45 caliber pistol out his bedroom window, shooting it 2 or 3 times. Deputies in turn shot more than a dozen rounds towards the bedroom window. Court records show. After the gunfire, investigators searched the house. Woods was discovered deceased on a bed. In the elder Coffey's bedroom, deputies found marijuana cigarettes, crack cocaine, along with 10 hydromorphone pills and 1 oxycodone pill, both painkillers, according to reports. A grand jury in 2017 cleared SWAT team members of any criminal charges, and a sheriff's office internal investigation cleared them of any violations of policies and procedure. In June, Vaughn denied Coffey's bid for immunity in appeals court. Taylor Friday, blah blah blah. So he shot a sheriff's deputy in the face and was found not guilty of self-defense. And they said it was self-defense. These no-knock warrants, right, should be illegal, personally speaking. Because I mean, if you're gonna just literally break into someone's fucking house unannounced, right, while they're fucking sleeping, what the fuck do you think is gonna fucking happen? Yeah, you are creating the situation for someone to fucking die. And it's just like Hey Joe says, I mean, you're going in there with people who, if they deal in drugs, they're fucking armed, right? It doesn't matter like whether they're guilty or not. You're not judge, jury, and executioner in that situation. You know what I mean? Like, you're creating the situation for motherfuckers to die. Literally, like, no-knock warrants should be fucking illegal. Period. That should be considered premeditated murder, because you're going in there with the expectation of being
violence.
shot. Yeah.
Right. Like these types of situations are like fulminated mercury. It's like any sort of agitation, and it fucking explodes. You know what I mean? Like you throw it, like you have.
It's like dropping sodium in water.
Right.
Boom.
Exactly. Like you drop some, or you throw some fulminated mercury in the floor. The shit will blow up like C4.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's crazy. Like,
yeah, and the cops are like, oh well, we follow procedures, man. Fuck your fucking procedures, man. All right.
Yeah.
It's all a lot of fucking bullshit.
Yeah, like it's not, you may be following procedures, sure, but your procedures are fucked up. It's not helping anybody. You know what I mean?
I think no-knock warrants violate our should be illegal under the Constitution for violating our Fourth Amendment rights of illegal search and seizure. All right. They should be violating all kinds of rights by one, not announcing themselves, coming into your own fucking house.
No, they're supposed to announce themselves. They just don't have to knock on your door. So they basically no knock mean we kick in your door and be like, police.
Yeah, no, that should not be happening. Nah, they should knock on your door and say police.
When they serve a regular warrant, they knock on the door until you open it and be like, we have a warrant to search your place. If you're not there, I don't think they actually search your place unless they serve you first.
Right. Nah, I think honestly that there should be no such thing as no-knock warrants. Every motherfucker, they should always be announcing themselves, and motherfuckers should have the right to say like, nah, go the fuck away.
It's an invention of the drug, the war on drugs. Because remember, in LA we had the Batarang, right? Yeah. Where they didn't, that was the knock, right? They just drove a fucking thing through your fucking house.
Don't these motherfuckers realize that they've lost that fucking war? Just let us have our fucking drugs, man. Like, we get paid next to fucking nothing, right? We need to self-medicate so we can deal with the stresses of capitalism.
Well, I personally I think it's all a part of the plan. Like, it's a big scheme of funding, right?
Well, I don't know about funding, but it's definitely a way. It's a big scheme to enslave minorities who are more apt to use drugs because they have more societal and economic stresses, and put them in prison so that they can be slaves.
Well, no. I'm saying the war
slave labor.
No, I'm saying the war on drugs is big, and it's a lot of money in it for the departments. Yeah. Right. So you see like what do you call these highway patrol guys, right? When you go on interstates, they're pulling people over only looking for drugs. Yeah. So you say you're going a few miles above the speed limit, they pull you over. Do you got any drugs in the car? oh, you got $1,000 on you? We're gonna have to seize that because that could be drug proceeds. So you're gonna have to prove that this $1,000 is yours and go to the courthouse to do that. But sir, this is all the money I have. How am I gonna get to wherever I'm going? That's not my problem.
Bitch, that's my rent money.
You know, no, literally, I watched the whole expose on civil forfeiture. Now, the cool thing is that most of the people in it were white, so they were hitting white people heavy, right?
Right.
So one young guy was moving to California, just got out of college or some shit. He was either heading to college or had just graduated and was moving west.
Yeah.
And so he had like 10 grand of cash, and so that was like his startup fund. So he took his money out of the bank, and he packed up all of his goods, and he was just traveling, coming to LA. They pulled him over, they searched him, searched him with no reason to search him because there was no drugs in the car and all that shit, right?
Yeah.
Found the cash and took it.
Man.
And then he had to go to court, get a lawyer, and prove with like bank records that like the money was his.
What?
Yeah. Another brother had opened up, I think he was in DC or somewhere in the DMV, and he had to cross state lines because he was he had opened up a barbecue shack, and he was going to get some new equipment and some meat. So that was going to cost, like a new barbecue pit thing. Like if you buy a big smoker, is like 20 grand or whatever. Yeah. So he took his earnings, which was about 30 grand. That was like all the money he had. And he was traveling across state to buy a new pit and some equipment and some meat to keep his business, which was doing pretty good, running. They took his money and let him go. His business closed down. He got his money back after fighting the case like a year or more later.
Yeah.
But by that time, like his business interests had already failed and everything else. And, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And there was like multiple cases like that, but they were just getting anybody they pull over, they find a large sum of money on you, they taking it. If it's over $1,000, they taking it.
Yeah.
So if you drive across state lines, keep your money on a bank card.
Yeah.
They will get you, but this is another illegal thing that they want to get rid of, but it funds departments.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And so like even our drug laws, funds departments. Because of the war on drugs, the DEA exists and they get money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We have operations in foreign countries going on because of the drug trade. So like there's a big industry, there's a big money industry in fighting it, which usually justifies the militarization of our police, because that's where most of the fucking action goes down. So there's gun lobbyists, there's body armor lobbyists, there's vehicle lobbyists, who all want that drug war to continue because there's funds in it. Local and state police get federal funds to, fight drug wars. So like there's money in it for different departments to actually fight the drug war. Like you could totally change it. Like when Obama put in, is like, hey, we just gonna declassify or decriminalize weed use. So we just not gonna prosecute the shit on the federal level. Yeah, that probably took money out of their pocket because that's the gateway drug, right?
Right.
So that's
hold up. The gateway drug.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Quote unquote. You know what I'm saying? So I'm quite sure that a lot of departments lost money because like, oh, we can't, the DA can't fight weed anymore because Obama said so. And then the moment he was out of office, it was like, now get the weed back on. But now we're like legalizing it in most states, but still they're not federally legal. So the feds could still come in there and scoop up your funds, which they do on a regular basis.
Jamie, can you tell us where that bill is legalizing weed? Right. Let's see. Federal weed legalization comes closer to reality and could open the market for interstate commerce.
Yep. But legally, the feds can go into Colorado and arrest everybody selling weed and confiscate everything they got.
Yep.
Yeah.
And from time to time, that actually happens.
It does from time to time, yes. But, you know, local law enforcement has to cooperate with federal law enforcement in order for that to happen.
Mm-hmm.
It has to, like, the federal government can't just come waltzing into your state all willy-nilly and just start, you know, doing whatever the fuck it wants, right? It has to get permission at the state level first, and then from the state level it has to get, you know, local cooperation.
What ends up happening is like, hey, if you don't let us enforce this, we'll just stop some federal funding.
Well, they can't do that with California, because California is the one that provides literally most of the fucking taxes to the federal government.
I know. I mean, it's selective as fuck. But
yeah.
I'm saying,
oh yeah,
you know, it's like, oh, you don't want to do that. Well, we'll just stop the funding for this.
Yeah,
money talks.
And here's the thing: most of the red states take money from the federal government, and most of the blue states give money to the federal government. And the red states, you know, if the blue states all just collectively said, "Hey, you know what? We don't feel like paying our taxes anymore," until you get all these shit. Until you get these red states off their fuck shit.
Right. You're on some fuck shit, so we ain't paying no more.
Right? Hell yeah. Watch all the red states would be like, but where's our money? Oh, we just got hit by a hurricane. Pull yourselves up by your bootstraps, motherfuckers.
Yeah. I mean, because that's the ultimate control the federal has over the states, is like, hey, we get you on the dole with all this funding and shit, school funding, medical funding, and all this other shit. You don't want to do what we ask? Okay, we'll just turn the faucet off. Now what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, not to change the subject. Well, I am changing the subject, but I was in LA yesterday, and I got to tell you, I do not miss that traffic. Southern California traffic. I'm driving. I was driving to go meet up with Homeboy, and I'm like, holy shit, man! Like, I haven't had to pay attention driving, you know, as much as I did yesterday, like in my entire time away from California. Like, I completely forgot how bad it was. And, you know, like, everything's like an hour away in LA, right?
Yeah.
It's like, I didn't realize how much juice my GPS was taking from my phone.
Yeah.
You know, so I was surprised when I got that notification saying, oh, you only have 20% left, you know, and I still had like an hour and a half left to travel to go. I'm like, what the fuck? So I turned off my GPS. I looked at, you know, I looked at where I was supposed to go. Said, okay, I got 20 something else.
You need to take your at that point when you're low on juice and you use the navigation, take the map offline and then turn it off, and it'll still work.
Right.
Well, running your GPS.
I didn't know you could do that, but now I do. But what I did yesterday,
knowledge is power, man. Knowledge is power.
Right? Hell yeah. Hate Jones with info. So I turned off the GPS, you know, but before I did that, I looked at, like, okay, this is where I'm supposed to go. I have about 20 something miles before I get there. Traffic's kind of, you know, bad right now, so I'll be all right. You know, like, I'll just pay attention. You know, but I completely fucking forgot because traffic was so terrible. You know, I'm getting antsy, I'm getting irritated, you know. And when I realized, wait a minute, what exit was I supposed to take again? So I turned my GPS back on, and the fucking exit is like 500 feet away. I'm like, well, I'm not gonna fucking make it because I'm clear across the other side, you know. So I took the next exit, and that added about another half hour to my travel time. Like, you see, you missed an exit when you're driving in LA. That's another hour that you're tacking onto your travel time because of how bad traffic is. It was nuts, man.
Oh yeah, man.
Fucking ridiculous.
Look, in LA, let me tell you, if your booty call, or your significant other or whatever, right, lives like what is it, about 10 miles away from you, that's a long distance relationship.
For real though. For real. See, like here in Vegas, you know, you really can go from one corner to the opposite corner in about half an hour.
Yeah.
You know, it really doesn't take that long of a drive.
Yeah.
You know, but you can't do that shit in SoCal.
Nah,
You know what I mean?
not in the LA area. No, like
Yeah,
people who
most definitely
drive
not
from
LA.
whenever people are driving from San Diego and they have to drive through LA, I tell them, nah, don't do that. Drive around LA.
Right. Yeah.
Go around.
It was crazy,
it'll take less time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's funny because like I haven't been driving since 2018 when I was laid off. And so now that I'm working 9 to 5 and I got to commute, which is only 13 miles up the highway. It's massive traffic every fucking morning, and people doing like I don't like driving now because now I'm hyper aware of the dickish shit that people do when driving, and I see it all the time. I'm like, I'm just an accident away from some bullshit.
Yeah,
Right.
people are on some fuck shit now.
That's what I felt like yesterday driving, especially
there's
at night.
Massive disrespect all over the fucking highways, man.
Dude, man,
yeah.
I was telling myself,
people are driving crazy. Like Friday night, I left. It took me an hour to get to like the Beverly Hills area or Wilshire district. It was like a Wilshire and La Cienega or Wilshire and Fairfax. And I lived off the 5. So I took the 5 all the way there, driving like 30 miles an hour. It took me a whole fucking hour to get there.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's legit.
Yeah. Like going from what was it, Rialto?
Oh, but coming back home, it took me 15 fucking minutes. At 1 o'clock in the morning. Like literally we left the spot at 1 o'clock in the morning. We were at our house or in our neighborhood because we stopped for food at 1:20.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some areas of Los Angeles that like early as fuck in the morning, there's still fucking traffic. Like, where y'all motherfuckers going? Like, you still out on the highway at like 3 or 4 o'clock in the goddamn morning.
Like, we're still trying to go home.
Like, yeah, like, man, like, was there
we
an
haven't
after
left
party
from here all night
and all of LA was invited, motherfuckers? Shit.
Yeah, like we're still trying to go home. We've been here all night. We've been stuck all night.
Right? Fuck? Shit, man. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, man. LA.
It's
gotta love it.
Yeah. And you know what? Like driving through, right? Like getting into the LA area. Like I could tell it's LA because I could smell the smog. You know what I mean? Because while I thought Vegas has smog, it's not like LA.
No.
The Vegas smog, it's not as bad. Like you could, I mean, just like anything, you get used to it, right? But when you go from how it is here, which is too bad, to over there, it's like holy. Not only could I smell it, like I could see it. Like it was terrible. I was like, what the fuck is going on here?
Right.
But that traffic, man, that traffic is nuts. It's like it's a living organism.
I think here's the issue. Las Vegas population is 600,000.
Yeah.
LA is in the millions.
Yeah. I mean, congestion is likely to result because of just the massive amounts of people in LA. But it's just I guess I've been away from it enough that I forgot.
Let's look at this. LA County population is 10 million.
Yeah.
10 million.
Like, I mean, it is Los Angeles after all. I mean, not everybody's crazy enough to live in a fucking desert next to hell.
That's LA County, so that extended out to the boonies where you were coming from to a degree.
Yeah.
That includes where I am, where
the
Chino
valley
is, and LA proper.
The valley.
Right.
Don't forget the valley.
And parts of the valley.
Yeah.
The Hollywood.
I mean, if you look at just how big LA is, right?
Yeah.
Like LA County, and compare that to Clark County here in in the county that Vegas is in.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, there's a huge difference, but like because because I live in Vegas, and I'm used to the traffic patterns here, and the amount of people here. When you go to a place like LA, it's like, because I don't go there often enough anymore, it's like I forgot, and so when you see it, it's like, holy shit, this is how it is here, and it was like, I don't miss this at all. You know what I mean?
Well, like, Clark County is 2 million population, right?
But it's still not as big as
Los
Angeles.
1/5. Yeah, it's 1/5. It's 1/5 the population of LA, but still.
Yep. And the gas prices. I'm like, what in the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, why do I have a commute when the gas prices start spiking?
Yeah, it tempts me. It tempts me to want to move to Vegas, but that would mean that I'd have to fly down to San Diego to see my girls.
Right. Wait, it's just what, $69? The Southwest. Yeah.
Is it?
You could
both
probably
ways?
go. Yeah, or each way, I guess. And you'll spend less money flying than you would driving. I think. Yeah. Because your these gas prices are ridiculous. Like, it took recently, I've noticed it, it's taken more and more money to fill my tank, and have a thirsty fucking car.
My car carries 24 gallons.
Dude.
Yeah.
That's
over
$100.
Even before the price hike, it was for the last 4 years, Phillip took me around $60. Right now it's taking me about 80 to 90.
Yeah. Well, I remember what was it, 2000 and when did I get that damn car? 2009, 2010. We also had this fuel crisis, crisis in the sense that it was expensive. And I was driving a BMW at the time, and BMW engines are tuned to run on minimum 91 octane.
Yeah. So
I had to put premium on the motherfucker. You know what I mean? And I also had 24 gallons in that thing. So in order for me to completely fill up my tank, it cost me almost $100. It was like 90 something to fill up my tank. So I was like, I got this. I love this car, but this is fucking. It's I might as well sell a testicle to be able to afford it.
Yeah,
it's it's expensive.
They don't call it premium for nothing.
Yeah, no shit. But you know what though? As irritating as traffic was, it was worth it, because I got having some King Taco last night, son.
Hey, so how much did you spend in gas yesterday?
$100 both ways,
dude.
Or combined.
It's it's $109. It's $109 to fly from Las Vegas to San Diego.
Yeah, it was $100. It was $50 to fill my tank, going to LA and then coming back. I had about a quarter tank left, so I filled that up, and it was about 60-ish, 60, 70-ish.
Yeah.
So rather, still a little over 100.
Yeah, I spent about
120.
I mean, I spent about $80 driving to San Diego, driving back to LA, then driving back to San Diego, and then driving back to LA.
Might as well just fly, bro.
I spent about $80 or some shit, Well, if I fly, that means I'd have to stay down there.
All right.
At least with the car, I can come back to LA, Los Angeles,
yeah,
right? But if I lived in Las Vegas, I would, I'd definitely fly. I'd stay down there weekend and then fly back up.
Well, before I found my current barber, I was getting my haircut, by somebody else, and I guess he he used to live in San Diego, and he moved here a few years ago.
Yeah.
And he tries to go back every weekend. And I had this conversation with him maybe 2 years ago. And he said he usually flies, and he says that he doesn't really book his tickets in advance.
Yeah.
Like he usually just goes to the kiosk at Spirit Airlines, and he's able to find tickets to fly to San Diego for, I don't know, like less than $50, he says.
Fuck
So,
yeah.
It's something that you could do,
Yeah.
as well.
I mean, I could survive Spirit Airlines for like an hour flight.
Right, exactly. It's not that long of a flight, so it's not bad.
What about taking the train? Do they have discounts for kids?
No.
Oh no. Well, I'm not sure. I'm sure there's a train that goes from here to.
No, I was talking about for like from LA to San Diego.
I'd still end up spending $80.
Really?
Yeah.
On the train?
Yeah, because I like going first class.
It's
$20. It's $20 if I'm with the proletariats, but I need to travel like the bourgeoisie.
No,
I love it. The
Amtrak. What was it? The business class
like a true
was like $40. Yeah, $40 both ways.
Yeah. Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I love taking the train. Oh, that's the reason why I don't. Oh, that's the reason why I stopped taking the train, dude. The Rona.
Yeah.
Yeah. And business class is really overrated. They just give you some cheap snacks and that's it.
It's not overrated.
Just bring your own.
It's not overrated. You get to sit. No, let me tell you why I like business class over regular class. There is no other place.
Because you're Republican?
Well, yeah, that. Let me tell you why, right? As a Republican.
I'm listening.
As a Republican, all right, I get to sit above the proles on a train. As it should be.
Yeah. I love that. I love that, we've effectively included proles and the bourgeoisie in this conversation.
Yeah,
where else are you gonna find that kind of conversation but here?
Business class, you got to walk up some stairs and you get to sit above,
actually
the poor folk.
Actually the whole cart itself is business class, and it can be in the front of the train or the back of the train. It depends on where it's stationed.
Well, I gotta sit above. I gotta feel like I'm better than everybody else and sit above everybody.
But so you could turn a fucking imperious nose at everybody.
Exactly.
So when you walk upstairs, who you're sitting above is other people in business class who can't walk up the steps.
See, I'm so much better than them at that point.
So those lower seats you pass by going up the steps are for old people and people who are in like wheelchairs and shit like that.
In other words, people who probably should just be dead.
That's what's getting us canceled. That's what's getting us canceled.
Right? Ageist, classist, and fucking what is it? Whatever your ist is for disabled people.
Disableist,
I guess. Yeah. Ableist. There you go. You're an ableist, ageist, and classist. That's right. That's right. That's what gets me canceled.
Yeah, I've only done business class to get access to power outlets so I can work while I'm taking the train to San Diego.
Yeah.
And to be away from people during the Rona.
Yeah.
Right.
Just to have, but what ended up happening is a lot of people had the same idea, and I kept getting on trains like, man, there's too many people in this motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a secret, huh?
No,
it's not.
Yeah, I mean, if it's great minds and all that, you know what I mean?
Indeed.
So I think I've taken the train to San Diego from Anaheim once. It wasn't a bad experience, I liked it. I mean, shit, I've thought about like taking the fucking Amtrak from wherever I'm at to wherever my kids are at when I go visit them, or when I go pick them up when it's my turn to have them. And I thought about doing that, but
well,
I just can't justify.
There's a train from LA to Texas, and it's a 48-hour trip.
Yeah.
Wait, well, you say 48?
Mm-hmm.
Lots of stops, man.
Yeah, lots of stops in between.
Hold up. Where in Texas does it stop?
Probably Dallas or Austin.
I don't know. I was listening to a podcaster who mentioned that he didn't fly until recently, and he used to catch the train. And he caught a train when he moved to LA. He took the train. He used to take the train back and forth to visit family.
Because I mean, I would take a train from LA to Austin.
You're gonna take 2 days to do that shit?
I mean, I can masturbate in between, right?
Unless you get a room.
I've taken a bus to San Diego from Texas. That shit was painful.
I can only imagine.
I'm
not about that greyhound life at all.
It's crazy.
I wouldn't mind sitting on a bus if it wasn't for all those people.
Yeah,
and that's the thing. That's what I really don't like. Is like you can make the argument that it's virtually the same with the plane. It's just a shorter ride. Well, that's what makes it. That's what makes the plane better for me.
There's no riffraff on the plane. There's a lot of riffraff on the buses.
You're both getting canceled.
See the fucking pros, right? The pros are the problem. The pros
rabble
are the problem.
You fucking paupers.
Right?
Can't afford a goddamn plane ticket.
I mean there's degenerates on the plane, but less riffraff.
Right.
That's true.
Yeah. You basically you can price the riffraff out of shit,
Yeah. What I don't get, the degenerates, right? Why do these degenerates even go through the process of getting on a fucking plane just so that they can make a fucking scene on the plane? Like, couldn't they make the scene before they got on the plane? They have to wait until they get on the plane to kneel during the national anthem. Yeah.
Nah, dude, my homie sent me
we're way off the Rittenhouse topic at this point, but go on.
my homie sent me a video of a bunch of Karens all breaking wild at the airport, and I start watching it. And
at the terminal
on the flights, it was just like a collage of all these little things, right? I couldn't get through it. I was like, this shit is disturbing. Like at first it was like, oh, this is kind of funny, kind of interesting, blah blah. But as it went on, I was like, yeah, this is bad.
It's like a joke that violates the rule of threes. At some point, it stops being funny.
Yeah. It like literally, it just stopped being funny after like the third one. I'm like, this is sad. And I'm glad I don't fly that often, because if I ran into one of these motherfuckers that ruined my fucking flight, I'd go shit. Because like literally on there was a dude who was assaulting a black person or insulting a black person,
right,
and calling her nigger bitch or whatever the fuck. And I was like, if I was on this plane, I would get up and ask the staff to move to the side and punch this dude's face in.
Mm-hmm.
Did you just use the hard R?
What's the R? What did I say?
The N-word, I think.
That's
is
right.
What he's talking about.
That's
the
right.
hard R on the N-word.
The hard R at the end.
I can say it any kind of fucking way I feel like it. I'm black.
That's what gets us canceled right there. You like these new animations?
I like the hand on the mouth.
Oh.
That one. That's a good one. Like when I saw it, I'm like, oh shit, I actually feel embarrassed.
Don't point your penis at me.
There it is right there.
Oh man.
No. But yeah, but he's going crazy. And the flight attendants are blocking the rear of him and in front of him where the lady that he's insulting is. And then she eventually reaches over one of the ladies and you know, gets that dude and busts his mouth open.
Oh shit.
Justifiably so. But I was like, if I was on a plane with somebody going out like that, I'm like, look, y'all need to move. And then it just handle business.
Can you do that on a plane?
I can do whatever I want when I'm on a plane. Have
That's
you seen
true.
me?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, you got a ski mask and dark. You got a ski mask and dark sunglasses on. I'd move out the fucking way.
The only thing I can't do on a plane is get on and off fast and apparently sit on the exit row now because I need an extender.
I mean, he is like Attila from the Wu-Tang show.
It's true.
You know, that's
you know, I didn't realize that until I went to the old town to go cash my first check at the cash checking place, who now charges for that shit.
Yes,
when they
don't do that.
10 years ago, it was for free.
Don't do that anymore. Check cashing places are bullshit.
Oh no, I mean I had to because I didn't want to put my paycheck into my business account.
Yeah.
So like I had to cash it somewhere else until I opened up a new account. So it was
right.
It's a momentary thing.
Chino Hero will agree with me. Fidelity, man. That's the
way to go. No, I'm down with you. But I used to use this place back in the day when they popped up in the town because they were free.
Right.
You know, so like if you want, all the other services cost money, but check cashing was free, and now it's like 30 cents plus 1%. Yeah. So right. I'm like, you know, so I had to do it, but you know, never again. Damn it! Why did I bring that up? I'm totally lost my train of fucking thought.
Well, I think
about a big ass dude.
So I'm at the spot and I'm looking at myself in the mirror and I'm around all these Mexicans. And they or let me
I don't know why that's funny, or did you sound funny?
It is. Big black man surrounded by a bunch of small ass Mexicans. Fuck yeah, that's hilarious.
Let me say Latino people.
That's like Godzilla walking through Tokyo.
And I look in the mirror or I'm looking in the glass and I can see my reflection. I'm like, damn, I am fucking huge. And I'm looking at these people.
You're like Attila, bro.
Next to me, and I was like, ain't none of these niggas higher than my shoulder. You know what I'm saying? not even counting like the broadness of my shoulders.
Right.
I'm like, y'all ain't even high enough to like, you know, like up to like my nipples. And I was like, this is crazy. I'm the biggest nigga in this room.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, when I saw Attila on that show, I'm like, oh shit, that's Hay Jones.
And I was like, I was like, is this why people are afraid of me?
One of, I'm sure.
A little bit, maybe.
I mean, if you were white, they wouldn't be as afraid.
No, they wouldn't.
Right.
Yeah. They would be like, he's on our side.
Yeah, exactly.
It was one of those reality checks. I'm like, damn, okay, I am really that big.
Yeah.
All right, so we've gone about the length of a movie at this point. I think we're gonna reach James Cameron length if we keep going.
Nah, all right, we're good. Push the fucking button.
All right. What is it? Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Instagram. Join the Discord. What else? Shop at our merch shop. The link is in the description. I used to actually have an animation that pointed down. I don't know what happened to it.
How do people find the Discord?
It's
did I put the link in the description?
Do you?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll take it. I'll excuse me. I'll post the Discord link on one of our pages or all of our pages, so that way people get join. I'll send out some invites as well if people want me to do that. So join the Discord. Also check out Family Phallus Planet. They have some interesting artwork, interesting NFT ideas. So check them out.
Bus. pause. We're gonna have a little extender here.
All right.
How do we make NFTs?
Oh, yeah, that's a different conversation.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
That's the next
I can walk you
episode.
through the process. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the next
So,
episode.
Let's have this conversation once we kill this episode for
Yep.
about 5 minutes.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. Bonus features.
Yeah.
All right. Shop at our merch store. Again, every purchase you make, $1 goes to Hope for the Heroes, which is a nonprofit organization that helps our veterans.
But most of the dollars come to us.
That's right.
Right.
So until next time, homies. Peace.
And konnichiwa, bitches.
Peace out, motherfuckers.